Before we begin, ask yourself one thing. What happens to the laughter when the children are gone? Does it fade into silence, or does something else remain behind? Tonight's story isn't about a monster under the bed. It's about a place that was supposed to protect children, but instead it broke them. A forgotten asylum, a trail of lost toys, and a girl who still plays in the dark. This is the story of the Asylum for Little Voices. In the woods behind Hollow Creek, past the dead trees and the barbed wire fence, stands what remains of St. Abigail's Asylum for Children. It was shut down 50 years ago, and for good reason. The building is barely standing, its windows long shattered, its rooms filled with mold, rot, and something else. Something wrong. Locals call it the House of Little Voices because even now, when the wind dies and night settles over the town, you can still hear them, giggling, crying, whispering your name. The story starts with 3 children, siblings, Emma, Jack, and little Rosie. Their parents had just moved to town, into a house far too cheap for its size. No one told them what stood a mile behind it. One day, the kids wandered into the woods, following a trail of broken toys nailed to trees, a doll's head here, a rusted rattle there, and in the clearing beyond the fog, they saw it. St. Abigail's. The gates were open. Inside, the walls were covered in drawings scrawled by tiny, shaking hands. Black crayon sketches of screaming faces, stick figures with no eyes, and always a tall, thin figure looming behind them all. They explored room by room. Emma found the nursery. The cribs were empty, except one. Inside lay a bundle of cloth, and when she reached for it, it giggled. Jack stepped into the therapy room. The straps were still on the tiny chairs. The speakers crackled on by themselves. A distorted voice repeated the same phrase, "Good children don't scream." But Rosie followed the music. A lullaby echoed from the basement, played on a warped old piano. She walked down the cracked steps into the dark, and she never came back up. The police searched for days. They found Emma and Jack at the gates, staring blankly, mouths open, eyes white, whispers leaking from their throats, but no Rosie. And the worst part? They were both holding dolls, each one stitched with Rosie's clothes. The asylum was sealed again, this time with chains. Warnings scrawled in blood-red paint. Do not enter. She wakes when you listen. But kids, they're curious, especially the ones who don't belong. Just last month, 2 teenagers dared each other to spend the night inside. They filmed everything, laughing at the rot, mocking the shadows, until they reached the basement. The camera was found 3 days later, buried in a shallow grave behind the asylum. The footage? It ends with a lullaby, and the sound of a third person whispering, "Now you're mine." No one goes near St. Abigail's anymore, not even the police. And yet, every Halloween, without fail, a child's voice calls from the woods, "Come play with us." She's lonely down here. If you hear her voice, don't answer, don't follow the toys, don't go down the stairs, because she collects the ones who listen, and once you're in the basement, you never stop playing.